Hey guys, it's Morgan coming to you with another weekly Shlog. I haven't started one of these out on a hike in a while. Using my camera, phone, iPhone to take this, so sorry for any weirdness or bouncing, I don't know. Anyway, the pups and I, right there she is, are out for our morning walk, Busted Gulch. It's a lovely place. And yeah, we're psyched you guys are going to join us for the Shlog. It's going to be a good week. Partially because it always is in the motorcycle world. And then also really stoked that the Panthera Motorsports Electric Start kit is showing up today for my YZ250. So I'm going to be filming in depth a whole series of videos on that thing, from unboxing it and seeing what's in there, to installing it, to testing it, to beating on it, and a final review after we get some hours on the thing to see how it actually holds up, how it works, if it's cumbersome or in the way or any of that stuff. So really excited. Thank you, you guys. Thank you, my patrons on Patreon for that. You guys are the reason we have that coming. It was expensive. It was $1,250, so super stoked. Also going to be putting a top end in the YZ at the same time because I really don't remember how many hours are on it. I haven't put an hour meter on that bike. It's been a while, so I'm going to be putting a top end on it. I'll be filming that too. Both those things aren't going to really be part of the Shlog, like in depth. We'll touch on what we can for the Shlog, but definitely, if you like this kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we'll be doing a whole bunch of content from that bike here this week, so it's going to be rad. And Zach Sheets is obviously going to be back, bringing his anger to bear on some motorcycles. And it's going to be an awesome week, guys, so join us for the Shlog. Yeah, guys, super stoked. Right there, Panthera Motorsports. This is the E-Start kit for the old YZ250. I know you guys have been waiting. I've been waiting for months for this thing. I am so stoked. I actually got a couple emails from them today, too. With some tech tips and a couple things that they just like tech information about installs. So yeah, let's open this thing up and see what's in here. Coming out of the box first time, let's see what everything looks like. Yeah, look at that. That is pretty. So it's definitely a lot like the old KTM style. Look at that, Zach Sheets. I am stoked. And like I said, I'm going to film a ton of in-depth stuff about this thing, so make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to watch the whole thing, the install. Here on the Shlog, I'm not going to go deep into it because this is going to take a while to get this thing done. Installation guide. Alright guys, so I know it's crazy starting this Shlog off like this, but it's mail time yet again. It's still Tuesday, but things just keep showing up, and I'm so stoked. So this one I've been pretty excited about. Been talking to Pat McCurka over at Adventure Spec, that's who I got pants and my favorite jacket, which I'm working on a review for that. I gotta find some time to film it all, but let me just tell you that their lineman's jacket, anyway, is freaking phenomenal. Sleeves zip off. It's like stretch material, windbreaker stretch material. Anyway, it's phenomenal, and I love it to death. Also, the pants have been brilliant. I've had those now almost 2 full seasons. But Pat contacted me just the other day saying that he had some prototype jerseys that he wanted to send me one of. So really stoked about that. Boom. They got some changes they're going to make to them, I think on design, as far as like just the colors and stuff. But look at that thing. This thing is awesome. It doesn't even have a whatever it is in it. It's really cool. I know you guys can't feel this, but this material here is kind of a heavier, slick material, which would be good for if you do crash, which I tend to do. But then the back is all open mesh to help you stay cool. This thing is awesome. Thank you so much, Pat. I really, really appreciate that. Super stoked on all the mail times, but now it's time to talk about dirt bikes. Mr. Sheets, who's super duper angry already. Look at him. Look at him! It's impossible to deal with. Is dealing with a little 65 that we just serviced. I fired it up, ran good, got it all good, whatever, ready to go. Kid, well, the dad took it home. The kid was riding it. Was great until it got hot, and then it started acting up, which he didn't mention before and really didn't even say anything about. But anyway, turns out that the stator was no good. I actually ended up having one here in stock, and on like inspection, on visual inspection, isn't that great, except for, let me just show you guys a couple little things. And the other thing is, when we took this off, we found that the crank seal, left crank seal, was leaking too. So probably averted a blown up motor, which is really good, because when those left side seals leak, which I happen to know, motors burn down, especially if you're a kid or an adult who likes to go wide open every now and then. But let me see if I can show you what this looks like. There we go. If you look here, you can see see how it's real white right there. So I feel like that is, it's like delaminating, because if you look at other parts, that one's not as bad, but if you look at like this right there, it's nice, you can see the copper color, but these look like they're delaminating, and I think that's happening because it gets hot and it's pulling away. And then also you can see right there, I don't know if you can see that, I'll try to get, I don't know if it's going to focus. Anyway, there's like a little piece of missing insulation. So, and then also the wires are super stiff. So, fortunately, we had one of those. Also, fortunately, Davis Service Center, our local KTM dealer, had a main seal, so we replaced that. So Zach's getting that taken care of. The other thing that Zach is working on is this VT750 here, that we thought we were going to have to pull the jugs off of to fix a coolant leak. But let me show you something we found out. If you ever have a VT750 that leaks coolant right here between the cylinders, there's two O-rings in there, and it's really, really frustrating. But you can't get that pipe out, the metal piece, without taking the jugs off. But as you can see, you can slide it one way and get to the O-ring here, and then slide it the other way and get to the other O-ring. So stoked that we're gonna get that fixed. It's gonna cost him a whole lot less than doing a top end on his V-twin. So he's gonna be really happy to hear that. Really happy about that. And now, honestly, it's time for me to pull my YZ up here, start taking it apart. I'm gonna, like I said, put a piston in it and put the electric start on it. Those aren't gonna be in depth here on this Shlog because there's lots of other things going on. But make sure you stay tuned because it's going to be awesome. Alright guys, so got the YZ up, got tank off, but I got to get this thing freaking clean. So here, let me see what I can do. There we go, that's a lot better. Alright, got it all cleaned off. I got a brand new Vertex top end kit that comes with everything to put in it. So I'm going to get the top end done. Then we're going to do the E-start, and then we'll check back in. So far, looks pretty good. So here comes the super duper controversial part of this video. There's a whole bunch of people that are going to yell and scream and say you should not hone a Nikasil plated or plated cylinder. To those people, I say you're freaking crazy. I use high quality diamond coated ball hones, flex hones, and all it does is deglaze the cylinder and help put a crosshatch back into the chrome plating of the Nikasil plating, whatever you want it, whatever that's made out of. And I have done that on every motor I've ever done forever, and I've never had a failure because of that. Now, I've had failures before because I made a mistake on something else or whatever. Trust me, I'm not perfect, but I've never had a problem with ball honing a cylinder. So I am going to do that right now. I'm actually not taking the power valve apart because it moves really, really smooth just with my hand. And like I said, it's only one piston in and it looks really clean, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Also, I'm just dying to get this electric start on, and that thing seems just fine. So I'm going to hone that thing, and then we'll take another look at it when I get done with it. And now we're breaking all the rules of all you engineers. Take a look in there. Try to, there we go. You can see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. My super gnarly hands. See that crosshatch? That's what you're looking for. It looks absolutely perfect. As I do with all my bikes, I like to sign my work. Alright, Shlog fans, so I got the YZ top end all done. Really happy about that. It went really well. Make sure you check out that video of the full top end rebuild. It went great. But next on the Shlog, I am going to show you how to use the Rivnut tool that I just bought on this skid plate. So bikes with linkages like YZs and the XC and SX, KTMs, and pretty much every other Japanese bike, they all have, like I said, the link is always kind of down here and unprotected. Right now the skid plate's not on here because it's over there, but so they make lots of cool things to protect that, right? They make skid plates that have long extensions. They make guards from Fastway that, you know, for the KTMs that protect it. System Tech Racing makes a cool guard. Anyway, one of my favorite guards is this thing from Enduro Engineering. It's just a skid plate link guard. It says it's for a KTM or Husky, but it will protect any linkage. So you could just bolt it up here. It's got holes. I don't know if they line up. Let's see if they're even close. Yeah, they're pretty close. And, you know, we could put a bolt and a nut through there, and that would be just fine. But I'm going to show you guys how we can use the Rivnut gun to do it and make it way cleaner and way easier to remove. Because the problem is, if we just put this on, let me show you. All we do is put this on here, run the bolts through, which they have little cool guy cup washers and all that, and then put a nut on the back side. If you ever wanted to take this off, just this, to get to the link or do any work on it, you'd have to reach up in there with a wrench, if you can even get to it, and hold it while you take it off, and then getting it back on is a huge pain. So I'm going to show you guys how the Rivnut tool works. It's really, really super cool. Got the skid plate, like I showed you before. These holes actually line up. That's going to make our job like infinitely easier. We don't have to measure or line these things up. But let me show you why the Rivnut gun is super cool. I think they call it what, a nut thread setter kit, which is just funny to say. Alright, so the nut thread setter kit, which is this, is super cool. And basically how it works is, if you take a look at that, this is like a rivet gun, sort of. Hell, hang on, let me show you. It comes with these rivet nuts or Rivnuts or whatever you want to call them, and it comes with all sorts of different sizes. I am choosing an M6 because so much of what we do here is M6, and the bolts that come with the linkage guard are M6, so it just makes things easier. So I'm going to use M6. What you do is you pull. It's got different heads basically for the tool, and they're all marked. It's really nice. We're going to come in here, we're going to take this part out and replace it with the M6 one. Alright, so now we got this set up, and you can adjust this, and we may have to do that later, but let me just show you how this works. It's really cool. So now, these rivet nuts, we want to put into these holes, so we got to make the holes bigger. But what's eventually going to be is you're going to have this nut in there, and you'll just be able to bolt things to it and unbolt it instead of having to reach back in here and get the thing on there. So need a good drill bit the right size. All right, looks like for the M6 we're going to use an 11/32. All right, now Like I said, we're lucky. We already have these. We don't need to line them up, which is like super, super handy. We just put this in the vise, mainly just so it's easy to hold. I'm just going to come in here. We take a rivet nut, spin it on here like that. I'm going to put it in the hole if it fits. May need to go a little bit bigger. So yeah, going to make that hole a little bit bigger. So 11/32 is a little too small. Go up to the venerable 23/64. There we go. And then we just pull, just like an old rivet gun. Like that. Then we take this guy, we unscrew it. Make sure we're flat, looks good. And just like that, we now have threaded holes. Super, super cool. Just take this, take our M6 bolts that came with it. Now, just like that. That is freaking cool. That thing is awesome. I'm super stoked to use it for stuff around here. But then it's going to get used a whole bunch in the van, the new van that's coming, to bolt things to the walls and all kinds of stuff. So there you go, rivet nut gun, really cool. Mine's from Matco. Lots of people make them. That's the kind of tool that I personally think you got to spend some money on if you're going to get one. It's got moving parts. It's, you know, you're stressing it a bunch as you pinch down on the thing. So I think that's worth spending a little bit more money on than buying maybe the Harbor Freight version. I don't know. Comment below. If you guys have a cheaper version that's been working great for years, let us know, because, you know, I could definitely be wrong about that, but I don't mind spending a little extra money on it. All right, guys, so I am almost done with the E-Start on the YZ250. So like I've said before, make sure you subscribe to the channel and get over to watch that video. I don't know if it's up yet or not based on when things are published, and anyway, whatever. Make sure you check that out. It's going to be really awesome. But for the Shlog fans, see this? This is a pipe mount for a YZ250. They are notorious for doing that. So it's a thing that they all eventually do. I could buy another one. That's probably the best thing to do, but you know what? I'm cheap. I'm going to show you how to fix these and get you through at least a little longer. It's not the end-all, be-all fix, but let me show you what we can do. So I'm going to chalk this up. Get it as far out as you can, and you can't really squeeze hard because it's rubber and it'll just peel it apart. But now we want to pick a bolt. It's going to go all the way through. That's not quite long enough. All right, that looks like it's just right. So that's an M6. Grab a nice sharp drill bit. This is a 1/4 inch. There we go. Now that ought to hold it. There we go. Now, with a little bit of persuasion, there we go. It's coming out the other side. Now we just need a nut. And we got a brand new pipe mount. Brand new enough. Boom. Just like that. Still retains its ability to move a little bit, so I think that's going to work great. Super stoked. You don't always have to buy new parts. Hey guys, Kenny's here. Hi Kenny. It's Thursday, we're gonna go ride. So, update for you Shlog fans here on the YZ85 Electric Start. By the way, the full install video is live right now on YouTube. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a card right here. But here's the thing. As I honestly expected, there are some bugs we're having to work out because they've had the e-start kit ready and working for a while now, but it was just an e-start kit. It didn't charge a battery, it didn't do any of that stuff. It was just a kit that you put on and you charge the battery and it would start it, 100 times and then you have to recharge the battery. I am one of the very early people. I don't know how many people have them yet, but not that many people have the one that charges the battery. So anyway, cut to the chase. It works. The starter works. Everything works. I don't have the right battery, so I'm running this battery right now. But it's not charging the battery very well. It keeps it right at 12.5, 12.6, but doesn't go above that. And when I first fired it up, there was a ticking sound that was coming from the handlebars, and there was an arc happening right in here. It was so scary. And I touched it, and of course it shocked the crap out of me. So that was awesome. I've talked to Sebastian at Panthera, and we've done a bunch of diagnosing, and I figured it out. There is a short going on right in here. This is the energizer coil or exciter coil for the spark, and these are the charging coils, and this is the pickup coil. And like I said, the bike runs fine. There's no problem with that, but it's not charging and it's doing the weird, scary thing. It sparks. I've got a video on my phone. I'm going to put that up right there. You can check that out. That is what's going on. I was on there and it's spinning. It's sitting there arcing. So there's probably just a breakdown in the insulation or a short something from the exciter coil to the charging coil. And Kenny's being ridiculous. And that's causing that. And then also the voltage regulator is bad too, because there is 20 volts AC coming to the regulator, but then it's not getting past the regulator. Now these parts, all the machining and stuff is done in Canada, and it's all really, really high end. I think the stator and the voltage regulator are both coming from China, and that's what happens. Sometimes you get a good one, sometimes you get a bad one. But yeah, anyway, I got a bad one. But I'm not upset about it because while it was a ton of money, thank you to patrons and you guys who support me here for that, because that's what helped pay for this. But I'm not upset because I knew I was early. I knew I was getting myself into something that might not work right off the bat. And I'm fortunate enough to have another bike to ride. So that's a quick update. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and then click on the playlist for the Panthera Motorsports Start series, because we're going to go through all of it, all the fixes, all the everything to get it dialed in. But that's what's going on there. Also, guys, mail time happened today. Super stoked. Came from Mr. Brady Metter of TBT Racing. Sent both Zach and I awesome TBT shirts. Thank you, Brady. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He also sent me some YZ parts that I can use. I got a silencer and a cylinder head, so if anybody out there is needing a silencer or a cylinder head, let me know. I have extras. So that's awesome. Thank you, Brady. I really appreciate it. Also, big shout out to Kevin O'Laughlin. His birthday is in just a few days, so everybody, if you're watching this, comment below, happy birthday, KO. There you go, Kevin. The other update is I'm excited. I am going to be testing a new tire. To me, it is the Dunlop AT81 EX. EX. Super sticky. It's the AT81 profile, but it's really, really gummy. So it's probably going to wear out really fast. I'm excited about that. Not about the wearing out, but about trying it out. Highland Cycles, it's Morgan. All right, guys, how's it going? It's another day here at Highland Cycles, and Zach is working on a bike. We have now been waiting, I think, 5 months for parts. Thank you, COVID-19. But we finally got the parts for this little YZ85. So, if you guys don't remember, that happened to the gears. So, we got a whole bunch more training gears coming for that thing. Gonna get it all dialed in. Gonna be stoked. But what I'm doing today, right now, is I'm going to be trying to fix this dent in this pipe. I've done this before. We've had some success, some not success. It's been kind of like up and down with our Hydroforce pipe fixing system, but we're going to try it again because this is my baby, and that pipe is really straight except for that one big ding. So I'm going to take this thing off. I'm actually going to try something. I'm going to try to anneal that metal by heating it up really hot with my torch. I just have a MAP gas torch, so I don't know if I can actually get it hot enough to really change the temperature of the metal, but I'm going to try to do that and then fill it with water and blow it out and see if that makes any difference. Well, I'm going to stop there because it's actually taking the dent out of right here, which is where it's supposed to be dented so that the radiator doesn't hit it. And it did move this a little bit, and it got some of this back part back here out from where it had kind of creased it a little bit. All right, we got her back on there, and actually I'm really happy. This big crater is a little bit different. It's not awesome, but it's a little bit different. But the best thing I like is that this is nice and smooth back through here, and it's not bent back this way anymore. There's still a little crease up there. I don't really care about that, but it fits really good in the cylinder. It's kind of hard to see, but it fits great in the cylinder. And then also, it seems like it dropped this down where it should be, and I put that dent back in there with just a rubber mallet. I think that's good. I'm super happy with that because, like I said, I don't care too much about what it looks like. I just want it to fit well and seal up in the cylinder. And it was kind of starting to leak a little bit, like just a little bit of spooge coming out the front, and I don't like that. So, got that dialed in. Pretty happy about that. All right, guys, it's Saturday and end of the week, end of the Shlog here. But first, I have to bring this to Zach so he doesn't yell at me. He looks happy. It's nice. He's not. Are you hurting at all from your giant wad? Ah! He's super tough. So if you guys haven't seen that video, I'll put a card right up here of Zach hitting a squeeze gate and going OTB like I don't think I've ever seen before. And it's almost at 1,000 views already, which is like probably the fastest a video of ours has ever hit 1,000 views. But Mr. Sheets has got the motor in this thing. How is it? So far, so good? Yes. There may be crap flying across the room later. But YZ85, hopefully I was hoping for a better response, to be honest. I was really hoping Zach was like, yeah, it's all right, it's gonna be ready to go in just a second. But so we'll see. You know, you never know. All right, guys. So I'm only laughing because I've made this mistake myself. Well, I don't know exactly. I've made plenty of mistakes. Let's put it that way. I don't know if I've made this exact mistake before because I don't know what's wrong yet. But so in talking with Mr. Sheets, who sadly stayed here late doing this, and if his time was money, he just threw it into the wind. Well, actually, it is money, so he did. He just threw it into the wind. He just took it and he burned it. But the upside, look at him. He should be a lot angrier about this, but he seems smiley. I think it's gallows humor. So the upside is we're learning, and sometimes learning costs money and time. So what's going on is that it's binding up. Like there's no, it's not hooked to the engine. The transmission is not. So it should spin kind of no matter what. And we shifted it, and there is a place where it does spin, but something's wrong inside there. the good thing is, the owner of this motorcycle, A, doesn't know that the part finally showed up, and B, is not in a hurry for it anyway because his kid lives with the kid's mom in another state anyway. The kid's gone. So the kid's not going to ride it anyway. So it's sad, right, that the kid's not going to ride it, but the good thing is we have time for Zach's education to continue. And so, son of a gun! So, yeah, you know what? I'm going to make a story time sometime. Remind me, guys, comment below or whatever, to make a story time of some of my favorite mistakes on motors. One of them, I will tell you real quickly, is that I left the inner race of a main bearing out of a KTM. And got the whole thing, and started. And funny enough, it'll freaking run and make a whole bunch of noise, like a lot of noise, if you do that. So, don't recommend it. That was a very late night here, because I took the whole thing back apart. It was another, you know, so I stayed late, got that done, and then had to redo it all, because the guy, that was actually pressure, guy was coming the next day. But I got it done. Anyway, so, yeah. We'll get that thing apart and we'll check and see what's going on. But that's actually going to get pushed off the lift for now because we have other things we got to do today. So, oh, guys, it's the end of the week. It's the end of the Shlog. And I want to finish this Shlog with what was wrong with the 85, the question of the day. And let me just show you something here. So, this gear right here, it's got pockets for the dogs that are on this gear, and Mr. Sheets had it flipped. And so, he's stoked about that. And but the upside is we figured it out. That's awesome. And he learned. It's education. Look at him. He's so mad. Crap, the anger is crescendoed here at Island Cycles. So good. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys like this Shlog. I hope you had as much fun as we did. Oh, man. It's so good. Anyway, it's only good because I've made all these mistakes, and it's just nice to see someone else make mistakes and not be perfect, so that's awesome. Anyway, guys, I hope you get out, you spread the gospel two wheels, and you know what I'm going to say. I desperately hope that what we're doing here is inspiring you to work on, even if you put gears in backwards, and most importantly, get out and ride your dirt bikes!